I have no clue why I'm in black and white. I've been trying to fix it for the past hour and I cannot find a single fix for it. Anyway, the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson rules have been released and they're pretty solid. There's only one downside to them and I'm going to read them out now. So it's a sanctioned professional fight, which is about time Jake Paul actually gets a couple more professional fights under his belt. However, the results are on their official records. So if Mike Tyson loses, instead of being 50-6, he will be 50-7, which is kind of sad to think about. However, each round is 2 minutes long and there's going to be 8 total rounds, which means it's going to be 16 minutes of fighting. So that definitely works well for Mike Tyson. And they're going to be fighting with 14-ounce gloves, which I honestly think are pretty light considering they're both 200 pounds. Like, they're both fighting in the heavyweight division. And I think for how hard they're going to be hitting each other, and especially with Mike Tyson's age, 14 ounces is really not much at all. I really feel like they should be fighting with 16 ounces. I'm certain that 2 ounces will actually make quite a big difference. Anyway, a lot of people at the moment are actually starting to doubt Mike Tyson. I genuinely believe that he's going to win this fight. With my whole heart, I think Mike Tyson will win this, and I think it's going to be almost career ending for Jake Paul. And I've said this previously, but there's really no win situation for Jake Paul here. He either knocks out a living legend and gets it on his boxing record, or he gets knocked out by a living legend who is 30 years older than him. There's no winning here for Jake Paul. It's all for the money. Now, clearly for Mike Tyson, I would say there's actually a little bit more in it than money. I feel like he's just desperate to get back in the ring. Like, there's a clip where he's talking to Joe Rogan about why he doesn't train anymore because it kind of electrifies his ego.
Do you work out anymore?
Nah, man, I keep away from that stuff, man.
You don't even like
all that stuff, you know.
Spin class or anything?
No, all that stuff reactivates my ego.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But if I start to think that I'm special, if I get a glimmer of that thing, say, hey, whoa.
Yeah.
Look at you.
But there's also a clip where he talks about how he misses the fighting person that he used to be.
Can you be with me? That's the reason why I'm crying, because I'm not that person no more. And I miss him. Because sometimes I feel like a bitch. Because I don't want that person to come out, because if he comes out, hell is coming with him.
And I honestly feel like when you bring those two together, you are just desperate to get back in that fucking ring and just annihilate. Like, all Mike Tyson was born for was to fight. Ever since he's been 13 years old, he has been fighting his entire life. So imagine you retire and you just don't know what to do with yourself. All you would think about all day is just fighting non-stop. So I really can't blame him for wanting to get back in the ring. And to be honest, there's no one better to do it than Jake Paul, because if he knocks out Jake Paul, that just really adds to his legacy and it will probably end Jake Paul's career. Now, breaking down an actual fight analysis, I think Mike Tyson's going to come out very strong and I think it will throw Jake Paul off a little bit. I think obviously Jake Paul has a fighting plan where he wants to try and slowly gas out Mike Tyson because, you know, Mike Tyson's old, he smokes a lot. He probably has a good diet, but in the past, he hasn't had an amazing one. So that will affect his fighting. So I'd say Jake Paul's fighting plan is probably to keep that distance from Mike Tyson, slowly wear him out, and don't allow him to get on the inside. But we all know that that is exactly what Mike Tyson has been training for and has been doing his entire life. I mean, he literally has done it for 56 professional fights, an amazing amount of amateur fights, and also how many sparring sessions do you think this guy has done against better boxers than Jake Paul doing that? I mean, Mike Tyson throughout his whole history has probably had well over 200 fights, if you want to count sparring, and every single time he's been practicing closing that distance. So why people would think that Jake Paul's going to be able to control that, I don't know. The only thing that Mike Tyson is going to have to worry about is just his stamina. But if you look at his clips of him training, he looks fucking incredible. I'll play a couple now. So as you just saw there, I mean, yeah, he's got his sweat on, but oh my gosh, he is in amazing condition. And I think that's something that a lot of people forget about nowadays is Mike Tyson is literally using electrotherapy to focus on his muscles so he doesn't get tired as quickly. There's so much more scientific research as well nowadays on how to basically de-age the body in a way. I mean, Mike Tyson's most definitely on TRT as well, so his testosterone levels are going to be the exact same as Jake Paul. So I honestly think that, okay, yeah, Mike Tyson's a little bit old. He's definitely not been training as much, but I'd actually say he's got a really fair chance of winning this. And at the end of the day, it's Mike Tyson. Like, when you're on the other side of the ring and he's slipping and he's rolling your punches and then all of a sudden you get that fucking freakish uppercut, you're going to know exactly who you're fighting. And it's no longer this little dreamland where you're on Netflix on this big stage and you're bouncing back and forth and there's a little bit of a script to the fight. No. You are against a literal fucking lion. If I had to call it, I do actually think Mike Tyson's going to score a really beautiful knockdown on Jake Paul, and I think the fight's going to get called off after that. that. I don't think we'll see a knockout. I think we'll definitely see a couple knockdowns. I think Jake Paul will get one knockdown on Mike Tyson, and I think it will shock the world. But I think Mike Tyson will just be fucking hammering him, because at the end of the day, Mike Tyson does just have that inner fighter inside of him, and we haven't seen that as much from Jake Paul. Anyway, that is my honest opinion on Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. If you have a different opinion, please let me know what you think, whether you think they're going to open up differently, whether you think the outcome of the fight's going to be different. Anyway, yeah, that's about it. See ya.